Hello,
And that's how it became.
everyone. God damn it, Heavy! Stop ruining the intro that we spent absolutely no time preparing.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. We didn't spend any time preparing
All
our
right,
intro.
welcome everyone to apparently the Midriff Lounge podcast, starring the returning degenerate Midriff, Hebi. You happy with that, Heavy? Yes, I'm mispronouncing his name on podcast just to show my anger.
It's a running joke. He's like pretty much since we've all known each other. I think Hebi has complained about people getting his name wrong. So
okay, if you
does it on
literally
purpose.
look at his name phonetically, if you put a space, it's literally the words he and by. All right.
Yeah, but there's no space there.
Well, I also speak, no Japanese enough to actually recognize the words, so there's like foreign language bias.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's like saying your name is tFay. It's not.
you say that, but people have actually pronounced my name like that.
People always mispronounce the name.
Anyway, we have our lovely co-host Noctis, and that's my obligatory compliment of the day. And then we have a lovely new guest, Jack. Jack, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Jack, also known as JCox1987. I'm a Twitch streamer. I am coming up on my 1-year anniversary here on Twitch. That will be at the end of the month.
Ooh.
And I see a little promo. Okay, and yes, I stream a variety of games. I've been playing Yakuza 6, The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. I've also done. I've also got Shadow Hearts and The Messenger recently. We are. We're having a good time over there, but it's been some hard work. I've been kind of going at this since the pandemic basically started, and hard to believe it's been a year already.
That's fair. tFay just reached his year at near the end of June, right? Was it June 20th?
So I did June 19th, I believe it was. My anniversary was like my stream anniversary was like June 6th, then it was like a few days later, like a week later that I got affiliate, but I wanted to be able to like give the chance for my early subbers to get their 1-year flex turnip sub badges so they could use it on my 1-year anniversary, and I think they greatly appreciated that. All the people with the 1-year turnip love their 1-year turnips. It's such a flex.
It is such
I'm just waiting for mine. I think I've got 1 more month.
To get the 1-year anniversary for streaming, or the 1-year gold turnip?
Gold turnip.
I see.
I'm trying to remember.
I'm gonna have
to go off of my. I'm gonna have to go off of my affiliate anniversary because I have no idea when I originally created this Twitch account.
I mean, I created this like I don't know.
No.
Decade
Make the
or so
Twitch
ago.
account. Yeah, make the Twitch account and start streaming two different things.
Yeah,
I don't remember when I was streaming, like, because it was always off and on. It wasn't like a set thing.
Oh, just all right. Here's the thing: when you say I'm gonna do a 1-year anniversary, very few people are actually fact checking you, Hebi. You're not gonna have anyone going, "Oh, excuse me, good sir, you've only been going 11 months. I was there when you started."
Really? Yeah. So 5 years I've been streaming.
It's like I'm coming up on my decade of streaming. I've been streaming for as long as Twitch has been around. And, I think you guys need to all celebrate that with me.
Oh, man. It's September 26th. I remember mine because the 1-month anniversary was on my birthday. And that was exciting. So I think I'll always remember that.
Yeah, but then the problem is you don't get to have a birthday stream separately as well, which is it's either a good thing or a bad thing. But
but that was just that was last year for the 1 month. This year, 1 year, September 26th, and then I'll do a birthday stream this year. It was exciting. Like last year was crazy, so I'm excited for this year.
There's also something to be said of depending on how many things you celebrate, you can also get exhausted of planning and celebrating things. God knows the amount of stress my 1-year anniversary stream cost me. God
I think
damn.
every stream you plan stressed you out.
Yeah, so I'm having to
We're
plan
trying
my
to do
ring.
this
I have
podcast,
to
and he's
plan a
freaking
ring
out.
fit
Oh my
stream.
God,
I
it's
don't
so
want to do
hard.
ring fit.
Oh,
Fuck.
this PNG won't transition properly. I'm so worried.
Why are you doing an impression of Hebi?
Wow.
Man,
That was
going
big.
at me hardcore.
I mean, yeah. You start off once they censor you to midriff.
Man.
All holds all gates are open.
So okay, so well, let's start asking Jack questions.
Yeah,
Jack,
only
so,
Jack. Only ask Jack questions.
Only
Do
Jack.
not ask Hebi anything.
Yeah, I'm just
Alright.
here as an
Listen.
intermediary.
He is. He's here to make sure we're not too mean to our other guests. So
I'm
thank
here
you.
to deflect all the mean humor off of Jack and onto me.
There you go. All right, now you can be quiet again and go back to your corner.
Alrighty.
Yes,
says,
sir.
Wow. Before the stream, we were
I'm
talking
sorry,
to
was
Jack.
that Noctis or tFay talking to me?
I was talking, but it was definitely tFay's words. Jack said that he has a degree in radio broadcasting, right? Is that what he
That's
said?
correct. Yes.
So the question is, how much money did you decide to invest into streaming when you started? Like, using your knowledge of audio equipment, did you start off with something cheap, or did you jump right in and get like a nice setup?
Did
Well,
you just go to the closet and pull up the mic you already had?
No, here's the thing. When I started streaming, the one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure we had enough time to. Sorry, let me start again. So when I decided to do this, we had started to get checks from the government here in Canada, and because of COVID relief, and of course, I don't have as many day-to-day expenses here that would cover. I was making basically more money than I knew what to do with these $2,000 checks that were coming in every month from the government.
Damn,
and
flex.
Canada flex, much appreciated.
Canada flex.
it was that they basically gave us like $12,000 essentially, and I hadn't even seen that kind of money for a while. I still have. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm kind of flexing on people here. I totally am, but I basically talked to my brother because he had built his own computer, and I just felt like with my computer, this obviously was not going to stream. It was just a junk computer, and I said, look, what would fit well with me? I want to try and build one. I want to build something that's going to be good, but I don't want to build something that's going to be cheap. I need it to be good, but not so much that it's just exorbitant. And I think I settled around about $2,000 or so into my setup, at least to begin with. I already had a good quality microphone and a mixing board. I had this. I had bought a lot of the pieces over the years, and then I had gotten some free monitors from my brother. So I have 3 monitors in front of me at the moment. I have one in the middle, one on the right, and then I have the stream up here on the left. So it's it's just been piecemeal approaches. I've had a couple gifts come in. The Stream Deck came in at the beginning of this year, and the Stream Deck is honestly the best thing I've ever had to work with for streaming. It just makes everything look so much and work so much more seemingly faster.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe I wasn't using it beforehand. And I had one person I knew, Kim Lisi, shout out to her. She was fighting to say, go get this thing. But, the money was the money. I think it was about $2,000. Yes, shout out to Kim Lisi. And I had a bit of help from a couple other people, and me and my brother last year put together the computer. And I think it's been one of the greatest investments I've ever made, because it's just, I've started streaming. I've made and met a lot of interesting people. And I've really been amazed at how fast a computer can run. Just when you really put the parts together for it, it really does a lot, and it runs so smoothly. It's amazing.
So basically, we've established that Jack is the tech version of how to start a stream. As many of you guys may remember how much time, money and time I invested into the art components of my stream. Jack's like, all right, we're going to do the same thing, but with tech.
Art commission flex. You got it.
Art
All
commission flex.
right.
Absolutely. Hey, if I'm going to buy as much art, all right, I literally do giveaways on my Discord for art commissions. It's literally commissioning. Art commissions are like part of my brand, all right? Let me flex what I flex. You have your pro gaming. Hebi has his midriff. I have art.
Fair enough. I guess we all have our own little niches. Fair enough. You win.
Yes. Now everyone clip that. Clip that. Just a soundbite saying Noctis say you win, and we'll have it play all the time.
I've conceded many arguments because I'm very open-minded, and
Dojins.
tFay does make some arguments. See, if it were reverse, I wonder if tFay would cede to more points. But only one of us can be open-minded on the stream, apparently.
Well, if both of us are open-minded, we'd never discuss.
That's fair. See, open-minded. I just ceded to his point about not ceding points. Damn it.
And that, folks, is how you win an argument on a podcast.
So, have you had any regrets with some of the stuff you bought? This could go to you, Hebi, as well.
Hebi's allowed to talk.
Yes, we're bringing Hebi in.
Regrets on purchases for the stream? I don't really think I've invested in anything that I don't still regularly use, other than I've upgraded my microphone twice since I've started, and that last one I had was really good, but it was a condenser mic, and I didn't have like a good enough setup to really power it the way it probably should have, so everything was coming out super quiet. I've actually recently switched to this Elgato Wave 3 mic, and it is amazing. I don't know if y'all can tell the difference over Discord or not, but with all of my filters and everything and the sound mixing software that came with it, it's really improved a lot, and I've been enjoying the quality of life improvement.
Elgato
I need to actually stream more to take use for it.
Elgato is... I'm trying not to compare Elgato to Apple. Elgato is like one of those weird brands that is really expensive, but at least you're guaranteed a good product.
Yeah.
It may not be worth the price in your mind, but it will do the job.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I can definitely see the branding thing is because I'm very much not an Apple person, but whereas the people that are, I mean, you're getting what you pay for. I mean, there is definitely a solid business plan behind the marketing for their products.
I don't think it's fair to compare Elgato to Apple. Like when it comes to capture cards, there's plenty of like these third party no name capture cards, but like other than Elgato, there's no other big brand names that really make
so
them.
I'm not really comparing them in the product sense. I'm just comparing them in the people will buy Elgato because it's the brand and they don't necessarily look into the specs of the product. It's just, it's just like the nice one.
If anything, I over research before I buy something because I have to be so budget conscientious considering my situation.
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that.
Shut up, mister. I got $12,000 sitting in the bank, and you're gonna do a giveaway on your 1 year anniversary, is what I heard.
I've given away an Elgato Wave mic for my 1 year anniversary stream.
Hey, it's not my fault I took advantage of a government program,
No,
that was definitely helpful for what they gave us down here.
I'm pretty sure it's literally your fault if you're taking advantage of a government
well, also,
program.
and I know I'm gonna again humbly brag and totally flex here, but I'm also a dual citizen, so I also got the money from the U.S. as well. So it's just literally.
Oh my god!
Double dipping.
I applaud you, good sir. That's
What's
amazing.
that, Jack? So you're willing to
casino,
fund
essentially.
You're willing to fund some things for the podcast, you know? Feel free to, you know, you want to fund the podcast? Join the Patreon. Shameless plug for that, number one.
You know what's amazing is the Patreon's $150 goal is for me to buy a new mic.
Yeah, there we go. Jack can just
There
support
we
the
go.
mic.
Well, the reason I got this Shure SM7B mic, and I think that's like, and the reason I did that is because, you know, I wanted to have at least something very, and you can do a lot of mics that are, you know, absolutely like professional grade. Like this is a pretty professional grade mic. I think the only one that would be better is, what is it? The Neumann. And of course, the Neumann's the top of the line. But the thing was with the Neumann, I just wasn't sure, you know, do I want to drop $1,000 on one microphone? And I'm like, it would be great, but like this just gets the job done as well. And I had heard a couple other people who've, you know, they've done voiceover and they've said the Shure SM7B is pretty good.
It really depends on what you're doing too, because like you do other audio stuff, like you've been practicing and auditioning and stuff for other like actual voice role things, haven't you? Have you not?
Well, I'm still working towards that. It's been like a long ass journey to just acquire the equipment. I recently just got my vocal booth here set up.
My point being though is buying $1,000 microphone just to stream on Twitch is kind of a throwaway on money because Twitch automatically downgrades your audio encoding anyway. So it's like putting too much into it for something that's just going to lose quality via streaming is. It's
4K
I see all
monitors.
These.
You know what? I basically just consulted with a couple people who are actually in the industry and they've done like high profile stuff. Like I said, is the Shure SM7B going to be enough? Now, like, I mean, I had spoken to, you know, Jessica Calvello. She uses a, what does she use? She uses a Rode, actually. And the Rode is a fairly good microphone. But I decided, well, I'll go with Shure. And this whole thing is ensued where I had to get like the, what do they call it? The cloud lifter. And it's funny, I'm not on a cloud lifter with this microphone. Usually it's recommended with this, but for whatever reason, it seems to work just fine with the interface. And I don't know whether I need a new interface or not. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. We'll see what goes on. But
Are you guys also like nodding along as he says cloud lifter? Like you guys know?
No, I'm actually planning on making a hotkey for Jack. So, all right, guys. So now we all confirm. Whenever anyone has audio problems, we're all tagging Jack, and so that way me and Noctis don't have to figure it out.
hey, listen, I'm good. I'm not that good. Don't try.
The majority of the stuff that I've learned has actually been from this guy right here. Aaron does audio. He's really good at what he does.
The fact that you can name like 3 brands of microphones puts you in a league above me. I don't know what tFay knows.
I can name 3, but that's also because I bought a mic recently and actually had to do research.
Okay, yeah, like, yeah, no, I'm still using the same $90 USB mic that I bought back in September when I started streaming.
And hey, it's fine. It sounds good.
I don't like saying $90 mic because that's such a misnomer between getting things on sales and, you know, the difference between one $90 and another $90. Like, you could, like, I basically paid the same price for my current mic, which is a Rode, compared to my original mic, which was a Yeti. And because I got the Rode on sale, and the difference between the two mics is vastly notable.
But wouldn't you say there's, and I'm asking Jack, I guess, here, isn't there a big difference between a $100, a $200, and a $300 mic? Do you know any $100 mics that could stand up to a $300 mic market?
Well, it depends
I would appreciate.
I don't know. Like, it just depends. You're kind of trying to find a warm sounding, you know, like a warm sound here. And I know, like with this one, I get a bit more of a warm sound. You can kind of hear it, but it's very tough because, you know, the ears of people are all different, right? Like I may be like completely tone deaf in some regards, but you know, like I hear it just fine. Like this microphone sounds sounds really good, and it just depends on. I mean, I don't know like the minute differences that make things like a potato microphone and what is, you know, like something like this. You know what I mean? Uh, I feel like I'm just like talking in circles a little bit.
It comes with the territory of when you're explaining something that people don't fully grasp. It's you basically were like, well, you'll explain something, and then they're gonna ask you a question that they think is not what you just said, but it's basically what you
Yeah.
just said. So you have
You
to
know what-
repeat yourself.
You know how you tell a microphone is good quality? There was a famous saying, and I think it was Potter Stewart. He was a justice of the Supreme Court, and I think they were
Justice League?
doing some case like involving obscenity. And they were like asking him, like, well, what is your definition of obscenity? And he says, I don't know what that is, but I'll know it when I see it. And that's kind of like what it is for microphones. It's like I can't explain it to you, but I'll know it when I hear it.
I like it.
All right,
No,
this is
I get that. I think
so.
a lot of
Here's
people
my
feel
take.
that way.
All right, so this is my
Okay.
take. When you go live and you talk to your chat, do they want to leave your stream because of the audio? If the answer is no, your mic is fine.
No, they want to leave because I'm an asshole. There's a
Yeah,
difference.
that's what I'm saying. Like, so if a
So my mic
stream,
is fine. Okay.
yeah, so if a stream has really bad audio, some people, guaranteed, a percentage, whether big or small, will not watch a stream because you have bad audio, and they'll usually make a note of it because those people are usually assholes. They'll be like, "Oh, your mic sounds terrible."
No,
know?
the only time. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, and then the other people, tell Noctis that he needs a new mic and stay anyway. But go ahead.
Like for me, I just basically the only times I get questions on my sound is obviously the mixing isn't great, and sometimes that can happen. It just happens because I can't hear what's going out. So I kind of count on chat to maybe help me a little bit. But the problem is chat sometimes doesn't do it. And I've had streams where, you know, I had no music coming out at all from the game. And I'm like, you know, and then somebody finally says something like 20, 30 minutes later. And I'm like, oh, you guys, come on. Like, what am I doing here? I'm asking you to tell me, you know, when the sound isn't on. You can do that. You can
Yeah, no,
absolutely
that is
do that.
that is streaming.
think
That
actually-
is-
Yeah.
it does not matter
Might be a good idea
who
to
you are.
put a
That's how it goes.
disclaimer.
I do
in
not.
the
I do
stream.
not like have like. This is why when I was talking to, I won't say who. I was talking to another streamer because they were commenting how they never know when their frames die or when the stream's dying, whatever. And I'm like, do you have your KBS up on your OBS so that way you could actually just monitor yourself? They're like, my what? And I had to walk them through turning the option on because it was an option to have it on, and it wasn't on. And so
Probably
was no
OBS.
so there's no way to know if their stream was alive without asking the chat and hoping they'd respond. And I was like, yeah, see, when that number's not like moving, or when if you have the little color icon when it's not green, your stream is fucked. And they're like,
Yeah,
oh,
no.
that's so useful.
I still
yeah,
need
Streamlabs
to
does
figure out
that
how to turn
automatically,
on
but
that and
whatever.
my view count.
Yeah, the
view count's better left off. I think it's better left off.
I will agree
You're
with you, but I will
Honestly, it
always leave
doesn't-
it on.
It doesn't bother me. I actually like it because I can keep kind of an eye on if there's an influx and, remind myself to maybe like say hi to people and introduce myself to new people that might be in.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking like influxes happen. Twitch will influx randomly. Like I've watched, like during the podcast, I have tFay stream up, and I've watched his view count go from 12 to 30 down to 8 back up to 27. It's just like it bounces. Sometimes Twitch is just buggy, and I thought it was just mobile. No, it's Twitch itself, which makes sense when you have thousands of people trying to stream live video at the same time. Things probably get a little buggy.
Actually, fun shout out to all of you who listen on Spotify, YouTube, all the other sources outside the live streams. All right, we look at the statistics. I am very confident that more people listen to this podcast off of the live streams, and I appreciate all of you. Except
Oh,
Noctis.
hell yeah.
He doesn't listen to the
Well.
podcast off stream.
Yeah, I do. What are you talking about? I have to. Like, I
He
can't go to
doesn't do
sleep
it
tonight unless I
willingly.
listen to it.
He uses the
I
podcast
miss-
to go to sleep.
I missed like the next 4 podcasts after mine, so that was how I actually caught up. Was I just binged them in my car on Spotify?
Yeah, no, that like it was surprisingly easy to get onto Spotify and Apple. Like I thought it'd be a lot more problem. Like they would police the content more. Nope, they just let me and tFay onto their platforms. Jokes on
Yeah.
them, am I right, tFay?
I mean,
Yeah. You mean they really just let any idiot onto this? I'm joking. I'm not saying you are, obviously.
No,
Well,
you can call me an
yeah.
idiot. tFay does all that.
I'm not gonna. do
You're
that.
not saying it, but you're damn implying it.
Oh, you know me. I'm not. I'm just. It's what I do. It's what I do best.
So do you guys ever stream other than video games? Like Hebi and Jack?
I've thought about it. I've done sometimes where like maybe at the end of the stream we've done like a YouTube request thing where maybe I watch a few things, but it's really difficult to say because sometimes you kind of have to just delete things right after they're done, if that makes sense.
Yes, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We have no idea what you're talking about. Everything
Yeah.
we stream, we have the rights to, obviously.
Yeah, no, because like I remember Hebi suggested one time like play this Bo Burnham thing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sure it's good. I just don't want Netflix out on my ass. I really don't want Netflix anywhere, trying to shut me down. Sometimes I've purposefully done a few small things like on there, like little clippets and snippets of stuff, but I've thought about I have thought about like doing that, and then I get worried like, is anybody going to tune into this? Like, it's going to be something different? Like, do I want to do a just chatting stream? And I'm like, I don't know if I have the.
That's closer to what I was
I
getting at,
did.
like a just chatting stream or an art stream, or something along those lines is what I was getting at.
I mean, I've
I've
wanted to do.
done one, at least to my knowledge, that I can think of off the top of my head. I did a face painting thing for Halloween last year. Where Yuki actually did my makeup for our trick-or-treat outing on stream for everybody to watch.
I wanted to do. I don't know what I want to do. I wanted to, and I talked about this off stream. I'm a huge baseball fan. And one of the things I've wanted to do is I've wanted to do a stream where I do this game, which is, what's it called? Out of the Park Baseball 22. And I wanted to do something where like I literally call a game as it goes on, but I'm kind of like playing as one of the teams, but I'm also calling the game itself. And I think that I think it'd be a lot of fun. The problem is I don't think I have a lot of people who follow me who are like really highly into that. And it's frustrating because I kept wondering, like I said, I talked to you just before we started, and I said, why don't we, like maybe I could make a whole new account and do this thing on my own. But then the problem is like, is that just going to divide my fan base? Like, what if the other one takes off, a lot more than the other, and then I kind of abandon the other, and it goes back and forth. So I'm never sure what to do.
It depends. I'd say it depends on sort of how you want to look at prioritizing your fan base. So basically, I could group my fans into sort of one of 3 categories generically, outside of the always theirs, right? You have the people who love my farm sims, easily my most popular streams. People love, especially when I start new farm sims. I always have a lot more people than average, because they just love, for some reason, seeing me get frustrated that the shops are always closed. Then you have the indie games, the Professor Layton's, the Phoenix Wrights, the I pick arbitrary indie game, and they just like seeing that variety and watching me get lost on maps. And then you have Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I'm giving that its own category because I saw so many people follow and only be on my stream for those games, and I have yet to see them once since I beat that game. And it's sort of like that. Are you willing to bring in fans? Like, are you willing to have viewers temporarily? Is kind of the point. Like, so when I was playing Final Fantasy, I was under no illusion that I'm going to suddenly get viewers from Final Fantasy that are going to want to see me play a farm sim. All right? I was under no illusion of this. And I was just going, all right, I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII. People want to do it. I'm having fun, tFay. And then most likely half of those viewers are going to go off and watch someone else playing Final Fantasy VII after I'm done. And honestly, I was okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think most games have those fans, though. It doesn't matter what.
Suikoden 2.
Like, I
Yeah.
would say the Yakuza games probably have it. Fortnite has those people. Like, Super Mario World has those people.
Mhm.
Old retro games. It's like that. There are fans that are watching. They want to see you experience the game that they love. And I think there's also a level
Wait,
of they
do you
love
not
helping
consider
people
Super
through.
Mario World as a retro game?
No. And yes.
Yes, I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah, I had a lot of randos come
You-
through when I was playing my playthrough of Hollow Knight.
Oh
I-
my
yeah,
gosh. No,
Yeah.
did you
I mean,
see...
you want,
Hold on, I need to do a mini
That's how I
rant
hit
about
affiliate.
the Hollow Knight fan base. Okay? So Small Ant, very popular streamer, YouTuber, whatever, played Hollow Knight and ended up apparently getting called out by the fan base for, not appreciating the game and not enjoying it, And Small Ant made a giant post on his YouTube channel talking about how he loved the game and it was one of his favorite games in a while, and how he was saddened because everyone thought he didn't like it. And their responses were basically, they're all just fans who were mad that you weren't jumping for joy praising this game, and you were just like trying to break the game. Speed Ant is a very, very good platformer speedrunner, like tries to do the cool, like the meme shit. Quick example, he's done Pokemon with no damage. So,
yeah, I watched a guy play a Hollow Knight with a Guitar Hero controller.
Yeah, so basically, he was trying to just like break the game. He was having fun, but he wasn't like, "This is the best game ever." Everyone needs to. And then apparently, everyone in the comments were like saying you didn't enjoy the game and stuff like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, you can't play Undertale and not love it. You will be
100%.
strung up.
100% played Undertale and was so underwhelmed. All right, you want to give me I can rant so long about that.
Oh boy.
I can rant so long about
playing
that.
this amazing game and being like, "Oh, that was boring. I was expecting more." Everyone else is blown away that this guy did this with Microsoft Paint by himself.
Am I the only one who doesn't put my enjoyment of a game in the same box of how impressive it was that it was made? Like, I do not give a shit if he was literally one-handed, stuck upside down while making this game. I look at the game as the game, and I will be impressed if you tell me he made this at Microsoft Paint, but I'm not going to like the game more or less because of it.
Yeah, no, I loved the game beforehand, and then to find out he did it by himself. It's like Stardew Valley. Finding out that Concerned Ape did it by himself makes it that much more impressive. We're talking about a game that's better than Animal Crossing, which is a large, game produced by Nintendo.
Okay, hold
These
on.
guys
I'm going to drop right
Noctis
there.
taking firing shots right now.
Because I care that you're bashing Animal Crossing, but because I'm a very big believer in not comparing games in terms of which is better that are that different. Like, I'm not going to compare. I'm not going to compare. Bullshit. How are they the same? How are they the same?
Welcome to the
You're
Little
a
Lounge.
farmer,
It's
you
just
got some
tFay and Noctis
villagers.
yelling.
How is that the same? That's like saying, oh yeah, the Elgato Stream Deck is a much better product than the Rode microphone. It's like, what?
No, it's shut up. That's a terrible analogy.
That's literally what
Yeah,
you're
get
saying.
out of here with
how
that.
are
No, it's
Undertale?
not.
How is
They're
Undertale
both
and Animal
farm
Crossing
sims.
comparable? Neither are
They're
farm
both-
sims. Neither
They're
game
both
is a farm sim. You do not
They're
have a
both-
farm in Animal Crossing.
You
Thus it is not a
you do have
farm
a
sim.
farm. You grow trees, you grow flowers. You don't only farm crops, tFay. All right? You ever hear of
What?
a tree farm?
Do
That's
you
a
have
thing.
to water your trees? No, you plant them and they grow.
You plant, but you have to water your flowers. In them.
You water your flowers to
not?
breed them. Your flowers don't die if you don't water them.
You were
Then
talking
it's not
about.
it's 100% accurate farm sim. All
Okay,
right.
and how is Undertale comparable to this?
My
The segues
point
are weird.
is that it was made by one person. It's a very impressive game made by one person. That was
Okay,
the
then
point.
why aren't you at least comparing it to Stardew Valley? Because at least Stardew Valley was made by a guy who was working in a movie
I
theater.
know. You see, my point is Stardew Valley is a very impressive game made by one person when Nintendo, one of the biggest video game producers, couldn't even make a game that matched up to it. That's my point.
No, my point is
I-
they're completely separate games. They're
They're
not
so
even in the
similar.
same genre. How are
They're
they so
so
similar?
similar.
How is Animal Crossing similar to Undertale?
You get
was
dropped into this world. You have to make your way up through it. You can plant stuff. You can meet the villagers. You can't marry anyone in Animal Crossing, but that's not that different. That doesn't change it
Okay,
much.
hold on. All right. Let's go back on topic.
Yeah, I
because-
haven't been able to get it. The combo here.
we can discuss this in our
Yeah,
you
after
know
hours.
we can discuss this after hours. All right, you know, or maybe we have a full discussion for the Patreon only. That's a
That's
thought.
We still have to finish our discussion about tags.
Shut up! I still haven't looked at that.
I don't want you to. I want you to do it live because I want to get your reaction. Oh my god.
No, they're not going to ban you, Mom. I'm sorry. I shouldn't interact with the chat, but like,
Yeah.
God damn
No,
it.
you're good.
We have one rule: make fun of Noctis,
One
and we
rule.
can't even stick with that.
Yeah. Hell, you get over it.
All right, so
All right. Go ahead.
all right, so basically, you know, both of you can answer this, but I guess it sounds like it's a more Jack question because he's the I have a degree and flexing on everyone. But this is technically for both of you. Do you feel like if you have a product, right, like that, let's say it's really expensive. Let's say you bought. I don't like saying what is really expensive for people, but let's just whatever you're in your mind is really expensive. All right, would you be comfortable recommending? You see what I'm doing this here, Noctis? Would you be comfortable recommending this to someone else, even if they aren't like flooding in cash? They are on a budget, but like, would you say like no? Like, I know you barely have enough money to afford X, but it's worth it. It's just like the best of whatever you're talking about. You should get.
Would you
this.
recommend expensive stuff to poor people? Is what tFay just said.
and I recommend
Like, what-
expensive stuff.
I don't
Exactly.
like saying things like poor people, Noctis, because that's
You know-
relative.
I mean, that's why
Also,
you just said it.
no, even if you're not poor, you could still be hesitant to buy certain products. Maybe you're a new streamer and you don't want to invest that much money into the stream. Like, let's say I'm a new streamer, I haven't bought a mic. I'm looking into buying a mic, but I don't know if I'm going to want to keep streaming after 2 months. So do I buy the expensive mic? And I could still be rich and be in that scenario, Noctis.
I wouldn't know. I'm not tFay. I'm not rich. I'm not a big time streamer. I wouldn't know. So, Jack, would you recommend expensive things to poor
And
people?
he ignores Hebi. I was offering this to both of them, but Noctis is like, so Jack. Fuck you, Hebi.
You literally, in your opening comment, mentioned
Thank you,
the
Eddie.
guy with the degree.
Yeah, you
I
said this is more
I
for
said
Jack.
it sounds like it's for Jack, but I'm asking both of you.
Yeah, I'm.
What I
Uh-huh.
you're gonna have to
What?
rephrase it. So like,
Basically, would you adamantly recommend something like really expensive to someone who wants to stream on a budget? Let's assume they can't afford it. It's just a very risky purchase, just because the quality is that good.
well, I mean, I think sometimes I mean, it depends. I'm obviously not going to tell someone, hey, don't eat. Like that's the thing. I would say to somebody who's in that position where it's like they don't have the same amount of money, like, look, I know you deeply want to follow your passion. I totally get that, but don't be foolish. Like at the same time, don't be foolish. You've got to eat, and I would recommend like only on the chance like you really think you have the confidence you can do this. Like you have to make sure you're making a commitment to this. Like if you're buying something like this, you want to make sure you make a commitment to like really streaming. And that's what I've done. I basically, I've always been streaming. I've always been doing this for however long, and I don't want to give it up. Like I've always kept at it, and maybe here and there I've taken a few small breaks, but it can be tough. Like it's a very big commitment. Like if you're going to purchase this, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. And
But
not the
to
wrong
me,
ones.
it sounds like what tFay's asking is like, are there products that you would stand behind despite them being expensive?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
so if someone says like, "Hey, what mic should I buy?" Like, regardless of asking them like what they want to spend, you say, "This is the mic. This is the good shit." Get in on this.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
there
not
is, but I
forcing them to
think like
buy it.
I think like a Blue Yeti is good for some people. Like, I mean, I've heard like critically lit. One
Blue
of my
Yeti is
other
100% good for most people. But I guess
he
would you
uses a Blue
recommend that?
Yeti, and
Would you
sounds
recommend
great.
that first, or would you say, like, you recommend, your Elgato Wave, and then they say that's too expensive. Okay, then get a Blue Yeti. Or would you say like, hey, you're starting out, just get the Blue Yeti?
I'd say you need a Stream Deck. That's what I'd say you need. Like that to me is. I'm honest to God, the Stream Deck is probably the smartest investment you'll make. It really has worked out well.
I actually am using a free to use digital Stream Deck via my tablet,
that's
and it has
my
been pretty useful.
Same, Hebi.
that is my reservation on telling people to get a Stream Deck. I'll tell people that the Stream Deck's great and I love my Stream Deck. It's bae. All right, I can do it for shit even off stream, but I wouldn't necessarily tell people to ever buy a Stream Deck because, as Hebi and Noctis say, there is free software out there that you can mimic a Stream Deck without actually buying a Stream Deck, and you can't mimic buying a microphone.
I mean, so how expensive is a Stream Deck? Out of curiosity, if you guys know.
Depends on the
Maybe
size.
a couple hundred, 100 or so.
It depends
Yeah,
what
The
Stream
largest one is 250.
I would personally, if I had to recommend something, I am recommending something, so Noctis can mark his calendar. I would recommend the 15 button Stream Deck by Elgato.
Okay.
Which is like $150 on average, depending on where you're getting it.
See, I pay I think it's $3.99 a month for the Elgato Stream Deck software for my tablet. So it's the 15 button style, and it hooks up to the computer. But my reasoning was, how many months do I have to stream with this before
you might as well have bought the Elgato.
I might as well have.
I think for most people, if you're comparing buying the software versus the actual Stream Deck, which, just to clarify, you don't have to buy the software if you buy the Stream Deck, I'd always tell people to get the software 100%.
And because it gives you practice with it as well. That was also my.
And you also have the option of not renewing your sub if you need to take a break.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I don't want to. I'm not using it as much as I thought I would. Stream for a little bit longer, come back to it. Maybe I'm ready to do it. I think that's a lot of streaming things you can find workarounds for. You can find cheaper options for. I would love to get a recommendation from Jack at one point about what mic to buy, because I do want to buy a new mic at this point. I think a new audio setup would be a good idea.
I think when Noctis's mic dies in proportion to how angry he is, I think it's time for the podcast.
Listen, it has only died one time. It has only died one time. All right.
Yeah,
one time.
I would say for me, like what I got the what is the interface I have here? I have the Focusrite. The Scarlett Focusrite is is the one that I bought originally, and that's a very good starting microphone. And I'll tell you why
Is that
I
the
went with
2i2 or the 4i4?
the
I just
2i
googled it.
the 2i2.
Okay.
I think they have like a third generation one of this.
Yeah.
And I got that based on a recommendation from Aaron Dismuke, actually, who is a voice actor. You might remember him from the original Full Metal Alchemist. He played Al, and I kind of
Yeah.
trusted his judgment when I talked with him. I was working with him at a convention. I'm like, what do you think is like a good quality microphone to have like at home, to at least record auditions or something like that? And he said, yeah, go for the Scarlett 2i2. And that's what I did, because I basically had gotten my tax return at that point, and I think it was like 300, and I got the mic, the Scarlett microphone, and the interface. And it's a very good microphone. I was using that mostly on stream to begin with, at least to start. And it's a very good, like starting microphone as well.
Wait,
Something
did
a little
you
more.
mention a microphone, or I thought we were still talking about your?
It's the
Yeah.
interface. The microphone comes with the
Yeah,
interface.
the interface. Oh, does it? I see. I
Yes.
did not know that.
Sometimes there is.
Just to
There is a
interject
bundle.
real quick before I lose my train of thought. I don't know if we actually explained this or not, but the reason me and Jack are actually acquaintances is because we were both former con staffers and did a lot of networking with all of these VAs and stuff, and we ran into each other via social media and just started talking.
That's true. That's
The
true.
212 is sold out. I feel lied to. Let's check eBay.
When I had
Wait, what
bought
are you
that,
looking
they were
for?
selling it as a bundle.
I'm like, as we're talking about this, I'm googling it.
Okay, first of all, if
Because
you're
I'm
going, what
curious.
site? How many sites did you look at that you're rushing to eBay? All right, I don't know. Personal take: I never buy tech off eBay. It's just why I never want used tech in any form.
Yeah, they
Hey,
don't. eBay sells new tech sometimes. All right.
I don't trust them.
Fun fact:
Listen, how elitist are you going to be, tFay? Come
It's
on.
not
Actually, I think the
elitist.
last thing I bought off eBay was a Sasuke cosplay shirt.
Listen, I bought my Elgato, capture card off eBay. And it was used, but it's not died yet. So I'm
not saying you can't get good products off of eBay. I'm saying I don't 100%
what you just
off
said.
of eBay.
That's what you just said. You don't buy it because it's garbage.
No,
and it's used.
You did not. No. I don't buy used tech because of the possibility of it breaking. I'm not saying if you buy used tech, it's going to break. I just don't personally feel comfortable buying. I'd rather spend the extra money to get it new from a legitimate, like a guaranteed seller. If possible, I usually like to buy from the source seller just because they get more money out of it. I like to support the product owner. So like if it's an Elgato product, I generally buying from Elgato site. If it's the same price.
I also really like to save money, and I think in that point,
Okay, if you're looking to save money, why are you getting a Stream Deck? All right, I feel like there's a big gap.
Because it's really nice. All right. Like sometimes that's what you aim for.
Okay, I'm just saying.
One of the biggest ways I've been able to upgrade my equipment the last few months because of all this is because with all the projects going on with my house and stuff and everything, I just put all of the materials that I buy onto my my credit card that gives me rewards points on Amazon, and then I pay it off with the money I have in the fund for the thing, so that I get all those rewards points back that let me buy upgrades for things on Amazon without actually spending any real money.
Yeah, reward points.
I was going to say, so like with this microphone, the one thing I could do with this Shure microphone, because this is like a $600 mic, and again, I'm totally flexing on this, but
that is flexing.
Okay, but the thing is, with Amazon, you can they have like a deferred payment thing where you pay like in like 5 installments over the next couple of months. So it really is nice, So I didn't have to pay everything all at once. Like I had to pay like maybe 100 or so, and I can just pay the rest of it off very slowly over the next couple of months.
Maybe I'm just weird, but I never look at paying, like, if I'm paying I don't look at paying installments any differently than paying it all up front. I'm just like, how much money am I paying for X? If you're telling me this is gonna cost like like $600, like let's say, all right, $600 for me. I spent less money on my custom metallic keyboard. Just so $600 is a lot for me to spend on something. It's like not like a computer part. And even if you told me, all right, we'll spread it out $50 a month, so you pay it over a year, right? I'd be like, no, I'm not suddenly interested because you tell me I can pay it over a year. All right, this isn't Starbucks logic where you're like, I paid $600.
But we're not all rich, big-time streamers like you, tFay, all right? Some of us
The amount of money I have has no impact on my interest. That's not even my point. My point is I don't want to spend a large amount of money on something if I wasn't originally going to spend it all immediately just because it's in installments. If I'm not willing to spend that money up front, I'm not suddenly interested because it can spend in installments, is my point. It has nothing to do with if I can afford it or not.
Also, the website, I went to the Scarlet's manufacturer Focusrite, and that's where they're sold out. I can get it through third-party websites, but they're sold out on their main website.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was going for.
Fair.
Then I joked about going to eBay as a joke because I thought it'd be funny. So,
what are you, Hebi
really,
now?
Yeah. Well, now I'm on Amazon. So.
Wait, what?
No, Noctis made a joke that nobody realized was a joke because they thought it'd be funny.
No, I think you were.
Are you happy? Are you happy? I don't know, something like that.
What's the difference between the two i2 and the 4i4?
I don't know I don't know the difference.
Why are you asking this of all things right now?
Listen,
no
all right.
We got
the audio expert here. We got him here. Why not ask some questions, tFay? All right. Why are you dragging me down on this?
At least give it in the context of the podcast so people can understand what the hell it's talking about.
Everyone knows. The Scarlet 2i2 is the audio. Yeah, the audio interface that he recommended. So I'm asking what the difference is between the 2i2 and the 414 because I'm looking at the freaking interfaces and I'm not seeing a big difference between the two. So I'm asking him. All right? Calm down.
I'm reading here. So one of the differences between 4i4, and again, I don't know like what air mode is, but this is what it comes with. It comes with air mode for the Focusrite. And so you can switch that on, and it gives all your vocal recordings a brighter and more open set. Like I'm just reading it from the website here, and you can also, if you want to use a guitar or bass, you can plug that in too. But I'm sure you would have plugged it into the amplifier to begin with. But it's just basically it has a few more things there, and I also figure it probably has some new software. A lot of these things come with a bunch of different software options with you. Like I got Pro Tools from this, like at least a basic Pro Tools, not like a big time Pro Tools, but at least something that's like a light version of it, and I can use it to work on it. So yeah, the Scarlet 4i4 is probably not that bad of an option. I don't know where the air switch is. I'm not sure where that is, but it's probably just a little bit of a higher performing amplifier. And I think everybody I've generally talked to who's in the voiceover industry, and it's not always the case. Like some of them have Apollo twins, which are like maybe the gold standard. But most people would have a Scarlet microphone.
I'm just really mad right now. All right, for anyone who doesn't watch, we have pictures to represent us. For anyone who watches the live and on YouTube or whatever, and we have a dog for Jack's, image, his representation. We got this completely wrong. I really should have gotten Maurice Moss from the IT crowd, and we should have used that. And I think it would have been a lot more appropriate.
But I'm not
anyone who knows that joke.
I'm white though. That's the thing. You can't do that.
Okay, fine. You can be Roy.
You off. They'd rip you immediately. Listen, I like Richard Ayoade, but like they'd rip
Is there
you
that big a
apart
difference
for that.
between Roy and the Doge dog? I mean, Roy's not the tech savvy one.
Well, apparently he doesn't want to be Maurice Moss, and, or Richard Hayate, depending
No,
on
I just want to
going.
avoid any kind of controversy that could
And
come out about this thing.
Who's literally? I don't think that people are going to get mad of me using a tech guy to be a picture. They're gonna find a controversy. All right.
You don't know the internet. You don't know the internet. They
You
are.
don't know.
looking to
I'm
just
amazed
latch
that
onto
you
something.
think. I'm amazed that you think we're that popular that people care.
You know, no. Like, I mean, it's not the thing is like if now, like they might not care now, but it's like somehow
5 years down the road,
They're
everything
gonna
on the
say
internet's
5
always there.
years.
And
they're
then
gonna
they
call-
here and they look at this and they're like, oh, that's so racist. You're representing a white guy with black.
No,
character.
actually, I argue that it's borderline racist that people are acknowledging, like saying you can't. It's like when you watch, it's like when people get mad at a movie because they're like, oh my gosh, the original character was Asian and they're having a white person doing it. Like,
was this
you
like
can't
with
do-
Doctor Strange?
It's like
Yeah,
with so
I'm
many
gonna-
things. With so many things, I'm like, it
I'm
should
gonna
not
bow. I'm gonna
matter.
bow
Ghost
to
in the
this
Shell.
position.
I'll
No,
just say
thank
about
you.
with Doctor Strange, they couldn't. There was no way they were gonna make that work. I mean, sure, they went with Tilda Swinton. Sure, fine. Like, and I think that was the right move in the end of it because you don't want to have like an Asian stereotype there. They could not win either way. I think this was the least offensive thing they could do. It's
To be fair, Tilda Swinton's barely constitutes as a human being. She's like a celestial.
I basically am just like, I just think, at least with movies, for like a 5-second movie rant, actors should be based on who can play the character well, not who looks most like the character.
oh well.
I completely
Well,
agree.
Yeah, but
I
then you
agree.
get no, but you're like you need to talk about like representation in media. When you're doing an anime movie, and you're just like, nope, Dragon Ball Z Evolution, we're gonna put white people in all the roles.
If they
You
play
kinda-
the part, if they literally played the part well, like, believe it
I
or
don't
not,
care
when the
what
Dragon
actors you
Ball
cast. That movie was so terribly written.
All right.
Yeah.
So as Heavy I was about to say, people's issues with Dragon Ball Z the movie was not the race of the cast.
Before they seen the movie, it was all right. Before
And that's
before
racist.
anyone seen the
That's-
movie.
That's racist. It's not racist to cast a
Prejudice.
white guy. It's they're judging the character. They're judging it based on his race. So by definition, it's racist. You're literally saying
Was
this is
Scarlett
bad.
Johansson the best Makoto that we could have gotten in a Ghost of the Shell? Really? No, she was not.
Was she
They did
bad?
because
Was she a bad?
kinda,
Makoto?
yeah. She was boring.
I don't know.
haven't
I
seen
don't
the
know
movie,
Ghost
so
of
I
the
can't
Shell.
say for
I
sure.
haven't watched Ghost of the Shell, so I can't comment
To
how
be
good
fair,
she is.
She's technically a human in like an android body, so she could look any way she wants.
No,
Yeah,
listen,
no, that's-
so this is where all
no,
the
that's
Ghost
a
of the Shell
very-
fans
that's a-
come out of the
Yeah.
woodwork.
Then you want to get Joe. That's an even awkward question because she was a Japanese woman that was put into this white person's body. So in theory, she is a Japanese
Okay.
woman, and yes, that makes people uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they broached that
But
entire subject.
that
in
was
the,
that's the writing of the
Altered
original
Carbon.
show, okay? And I have not watched Ghost in the Shell or the live action movie, so I have absolutely no way of judging if Scarlett Johansson was a good cast. But I do acknowledge that Scarlett Johansson is a great actress. I have no idea if she fits that part, though. I have no frame of
Listen.
reference.
If there are millions of people that are upset that they didn't cast a Japanese person in the role of like an anime movie, then it obviously bothers people.
No,
I'm not-
obviously
like-
it bothers people, but we're talking about big movie. You're talking about a movie of one of the most popular anime franchises in history. Yes, it's gonna bother people. You're right. I'm not talking. I'm talking about a PNG here for a podcast that most people don't see because it's audio. It's a podcast.
Yeah, but you took the argument there. You took the argument to Hollywood movies, all right? This went beyond a PNG.
To be fair, it was interesting
representation.
content.
Yeah, I mean, no, I still stand by though. Even if everyone is bothered by it, I'm saying they shouldn't. Maybe it's a hot take. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe how the character look does matter. Feel free to let me know. I'm just saying, I personally feel that the quality of the representation of a character is more important than how that character looks. Personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad
Come
this isn't
at me,
on my
Hollywood.
And just like
you're-
that, tFay was canceled.
How am I
That
canceled
would-
for that opinion? How am I
That would
canceled
be
for that
so funny.
opinion?
It's a joke.
That's
I
not
think
even
crowds will
I don't
kill
know. I know,
themselves.
but I could have an entire rant of cancel culture. But like, that's
Yeah.
not even a controversial opinion. That's just an
I
opinion.
it is a
I mean,
it is.
I mean, look, I'm sure we all had like really stupid opinions, like back when we were younger. Because I sure as hell know I did. Now there are things that I'd say, and I'm like, yeah, no,
Oh my god.
no. Like
Oh, I'm a completely different person than I was when I was 16.
we
Listen,
all
we
are.
all have dumb opinions like tFay, but we keep those to ourselves.
I mean, the way I see it is eventually,
What
like,
the hell?
part
No,
of me is
hold
like,
on. I have to stop you real quick, Jack. We keep our stupid opinions to ourselves. You literally said you went
No,
on for how long about signing manga, and you're like, if Oda signs one of his manga, clearly it's the fact that it's first edition One Piece that makes it expensive. And you really say we keep stupid our opinions to ourselves?
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Call me out like that.
100%.
I don't. I'm confused how that relates to what I just said, but okay.
I'm saying that opinion was very stupid. Go on.
No,
manga
I
and
was
anime.
laughing because that's what I thought Jack was saying when he leads with, "We all have stupid opinions." That made me laugh.
no, I meant like
Alright.
we've all had like bad takes, stupid opinions, or
Let's go with the hot segueing here to get off of this.
Thank you,
Favorite
Hebi.
anime, Jack?
Oh god,
Favorite
damn.
anime?
How is that? How is that getting off the hot take? That's good. That's like going from one volcano to a bigger volcano.
I
mean,
don't think
I mean,
so.
was the
Because we're talking
joke.
about our favorite. Just talk about your favorite anime, Jack. Go ahead.
my favorite anime. Well, it's funny because I've kind of like realized that maybe there's a handful of things I watch each year. I haven't kept up with anime seasons to the same degree that I have, and it takes time. Like,
Okay,
For
first of
me-
all right. You don't have to. We're not saying you have to pick an anime
Yeah.
for the last 2 seasons.
I
to
wouldn't.
be
I
your
wouldn't do that.
favorite.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I'm making a point that like today for me, it's very hard for me to sit down and watch long TV series because I've just been busy.
That's
streaming
most
of the
people.
time and
That's
and I
most
think
Yeah.
people.
of
Why
us.
do you think anime seasons are now 13 episodes, sometimes 12, when anime seasons back in the day used to be like 50 episodes?
Well, like my favorite anime of all time is Mushishi. Actually, I remember the first time I
Damn, that's a
watched
take.
episodes. I watched episodes of this show, and I thought, like, wow, like the artwork was absolutely incredible. It was a very kind of quiet. It's not a show for everyone, and the reason why is because it's kind of a quiet, meditative thing. And I think that's
Okay,
when I
the,
realized
the
I have a.
TLDR here is it's ascending. Just for anyone who understands what that means, just be aware of that if you're
And
going to go
watch-
looking it up.
I'm a very
Yeah.
big signing.
I don't know. I pronounce seinen, manga. Call it what you like. Not the point.
Yeah, I'm a huge seinen fan. If anything, like I like a lot more mature kinds of stories. I'm a huge Satoshi Kon fan. I have like everything he's ever done on Blu-ray here in my apartment. Like I have Perfect Blue, I have Paranoia Agent, I have Millennium Actress. I'm a huge classic like Satoshi Kon fan. Hosoda as well. Like it's a lot of the classics, like Escaflowne and Big O. Like I just really like the style of animation in there, and I don't think we have.
I apologize to all of
any-
you young listeners who are now on Google for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fair.
Like we
I loved
we
Big O.
just don't have with the animation today. It's very hard to see things that don't look as they're not as interesting to look at as they are.
I
today.
would disagree. There are many old shows that are very, very pleasing to look at.
No,
It's
that's what I
just not-
said. I'm agreeing with you there.
Yeah, he just said that the new shows weren't as interesting to look at, tFay.
Wait, is it the new stuff? Is it? I heard that the new stuff is more interesting to look at.
No, he
The new
said
stuff-
no. He said the opposite.
I think when you have like a movie level budget, yeah, I would agree with that. But it's like it's very hard
UFO
to see shows.
table.
Okay, well, like they're an exception though. They're like the one exception. But like I don't know of in the last couple years, at least. And again, this is me showing my age. It's
I mean,
totally showing my age.
I just want to start listing off studios right now. But
Okay,
go on.
Mappa is
Oh,
pretty
God.
good.
I'm
Actually,
trying to
Mappa!
remember. Is
All right.
Mushishi the one where the dude just shows up and they smoke opium until they see demons?
They don't smoke opium. He
But
smokes.
yes, that's the show
these
you're
cigarettes
thinking of.
specifically to keep these
All right.
bugs or demons away
Mappa
from
is
him.
good. I don't like them, but Bones is really good.
I no Bones is. I mean, there's obviously some guys in there that are good. Like Bones, I'm not going to dispute with you because I think Bones is a. I've watched so many
right.
of their.
It's a bit of a controversial take if you like the style or not, but the quality, Shaft is very pleasing to look at. If you get, it's very niche style. It's not a universal take, but it's done very well.
Madhouse does pretty good.
I would
Yeah,
argue Kyo
Mushishi's-
Annie is very pretty to look at too.
It's funny because Mushishi's anime company doesn't even exist anymore. It was Artland originally, and they did. Basically, the big ones for that was they originally had done the Super Dimension Fortress Macross, and they had worked, on a lot of the Macross stuff, and even Megazone Part 1 and 2 a little bit. And then they did Mushishi, but they've done, like, outside of Gunslinger Girl Il Teatrino, they did the Hitman Reborn as well.
Oh God,
And that's been about it.
that is a
But
name I've not
interesting-
heard in a long time.
Interestingly, though,
Oh.
Mushishi, I don't know, like, why does it look so great? I have no idea how it is that they pulled it up. By the way, I should mention a cool thing about that series. Not the director of Mushishi, Hiroshi Nagahama, is the one directing the Uzumaki adaptation. Who's
Junji Ito
it?
series?
Junji Ito series, and they're doing it in black and white,
No,
which
no,
is
no.
a really
First of all, I stand by, and maybe I'm open to be proven wrong. It is literally not possible to animate Junji Ito and do it justice.
Oh, I have you not seen the preview of this?
Yeah,
it's
I think
on
they
it's
can.
on YouTube. I have got to tell you, I think they're gonna do it justice because
No, I do not
they are-
keep track of, new and up and coming anime like until it's out. I wait till things are out, and I wait
Yeah.
for the anitubers that I trust to tell me what to watch, and I'll flip a coin on if I'll even watch them. I do not have time to do the research on what
Yeah,
things
I
are
would-
coming
yeah, I
out
would
with
agree
these
with that.
studios and like what might be good.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Like, how many times? Here's why I think this will be good because they are doing it really much in Junji Ito's style. They are doing it in black and white, so it looks like you are literally
That's not
reading
Junji
the
Ito
manga.
style. That's just manga style.
It is. But,
No, no.
yeah, but
Junji,
I mean,
yeah.
I understand what he's saying with the very heavy contrast of shading. Will
Yeah,
come out
Junji
better in
Ito
black and
doesn't
white
feel
than
like
in
it was-
color.
It doesn't
No,
feel like
there
it's
are
black
there
and
are
white
plen-
minus
there
color.
are plenty color Junji Ito pieces, but Junji
No,
Ito
like-
has to be the one to do them.
like I think from what I saw in this small clip, and it is a small clip, but like it was really, really well made, and the music is going to be done by a guy named Colin Stetson who did the soundtrack for Hereditary, actually, which was a great horror film.
Okay, I'm gonna look at this
so you really-
trailer just so I can comment on it.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Or-
I would
I
say
wouldn't call
to
her
take a
a-
look at the trailer because Nagahama is directing this, and this is a. I think the animation looks absolutely incredible, and I think it captures the sense of the manga entirely. And I can't wait to
Wait,
hear
so
what the
am I-
soundtrack is like.
So all right, so I'm sort of confused when looking at this trailer because parts of the trailer is literally just showing screenshots from Junji Ito manga, and are they actually just ripping out panels from his works and throwing it in this anime?
No,
Did they,
this
or
one
did
is-
they
this
draw it?
isn't. This isn't
Did
the
they redraw?
slideshow anime style. This is like they really put their heart and soul into it.
No, I'm just
gonna,
looking at the trailer. I'm just not like, so there's parts of the trailer that's anime, like, and I can see what you're getting at.
yeah.
And I think this is very cool looking. I will stand by this is not Junji Ito level, except for the parts of the trailer where they're
Yeah.
literally showing off pages from Junji Ito manga.
Yeah, but I think if you look at the actual animated clip that they show there, and again, it's only a few minutes long.
I'm looking at the animated. I see the animated clip too, and I think it looks very good. I just don't think it's Junji Ito level, but maybe I'm biased. I'm just saying that this particular trailer, I just don't see why they're literally showing pages from Junji Ito manga.
Well,
in
here's
the
what
trailer.
I will say entices me. How many times have you watched an anime that is completely in black and white? I can't even think of one. I can't even, like, aside from like, you know, maybe the early Astro Boys, but like but it wasn't a stylistic choice, you know what I mean? Like, how many animes have been done in black and white? I can't even think of one.
I was gonna say, weren't the early Astro Boys done in color? I know they were for the. I thought they were for the dub at least here in the U.S.
Yeah, but there's never been one, to my knowledge, that's been done like as a stylistic choice in modern anime at all. I would say, like, I just that's my feeling. I guess.
I mean,
you know.
Yes, I will 100% agree with you on that. And for the general reason of people want the different mediums for different reasons. People generally want anime because they want color. That's also why a lot of people are switching now from reading manga to reading webtoons and manhwa, because it's in color. They want color.
You know, it's a funny.
I don't think there's any modern anime that were done in black and white. Because I was looking at black and white. You'll get Astro Boy, 8-Man, Cyborg 009, the original one back in the 60s, Dovero. Yeah, we're talking old stuff, nothing new. So it'll be interesting to see a modern anime done in black and white. I would agree with you. That's kind of an interesting take.
I mean, I've watched. There's been and they have like a whole list of stuff online that have been done in black and white, specifically. You know, sorry, I'm totally just messing up here, but like with movies past like the 60s or so, I've seen a bunch of movies that have been in black and white that were, you know, past the time period they like when people had the choice whether to do it in color or black and white. I think black and white is an interesting stylistic choice, and it focuses more, I guess, on the character performance or, you know, the actual characters in the show, because it kind of. The one thing you won't have with like this show that like you would with a live action is the lighting is going to be a lot more interesting to look at, especially in something like this, because it doesn't have the same kind of. It doesn't have the same look, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but shouldn't, like, the question, like, did Junji Ito restrict himself to black and white drawings just because that's manga back in the day? Like, was Uzumaki in black and white just because that's how manga was done? Do you think he could have done it better in color?
Question. Because generally, I'm trying to think of this. I've seen his work in color, and I think it looks just as creepy, but that might also be a personal like take.
I think the black and white is a lot more cold looking, and I think it really adds like some more depth, like to have it done in black and white, like the atmosphere, like it's already. Junji Ito has some really
had to get a word
imagery,
in there. I've been quiet too long.
I think, like, you know,
I feel that heavy.
If I watch something like that, like there's been times where I've watched like horror movies, and I don't know whether it's been the theater has been too cold or whatever, but like sometimes I would get a chill if it's like, you know, it's like this really kind of, you know, horrific atmosphere, and I think a black and white is going to make this, like, I think if you put it in color, I think it might be too. It might distract from the horror elements. That sounds weird, you know. Like I just don't think it would do it justice.
Well, it depends on how you define putting in color. Like if you can make it all bleak colors, you know, keep the atmosphere very grayscale. Like, you know, it can still be in color.
Oh, so Zack Snyder style.
Sure, Like, the point, like, I think you can do it. Like, I think there's an implication of what people perceive in their heads when you say put something in color. That usually is on the more vibrant side of things, which is why you could, one could easily say that Junji Ito is better in black and white. But I definitely feel that you can have. I personally, again, personal, horror is a weird thing. That I think that Junji Ito could have easily made his entire, like, all his works in color, and I think it could be, if not, the same, if not more creepy. But that's up to Junji Ito. I don't think it's possible to just take his work, use a coloring book, like as a coloring book, just color it in, and it's gonna be creepy. Like, he has to, like, redo everything.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone uses manga like a coloring book and puts
Well,
it
that
out.
I will
There you go,
very
it's
much.
colored.
I will very much disagree with that. If you've seen some colored works, it very much looks like they just took They took some manga pages and colored it in. But that's besides the point. I've seen a lot of. I've seen a lot of colored.
Did you just say
pages.
asides?
Besides the point.
I heard asides.
You have bad ears, or I don't have
Wow.
Jack's mic. I don't know. Pick one.
Goddamn! Either I'm insulting you or I'm just wrong. I jeez, tFay. Heavy, why do you come? Why did
Know
you
your
come back?
place.
There's a good question. Why did you come back?
Heavy's the one who
to-
started the tangent. That's what I find hilarious.
I was trying to pick a subject that would actually give some breadth to conversation, and it worked. So I just didn't have much input because y'all
read the conversation by
y'all-
cutting out half the people talking.
it was an interesting take.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a question for me?
Noctis,
tFay?
what? I thought you were gonna be like that. Why don't you ask Heavy what his favorite anime Noctis is? As someone who's always got mad when people exclude him from what is your favorite.
It's amazing. Like, I tried. Like, what's your favorite? Oh, what's your favorite? Oh, I noticed Heavy hasn't mentioned his favorite anime. Go ahead, Heavy. What's your favorite anime?
My favorite anime?
Yeah.
Probably. And this is probably just an offshoot, but I really enjoyed Blue Exorcist.
Ooh.
Oh,
No,
that'd be fun.
it was okay.
I know it's not really like
Am I
definitive
still, like,
or like
am
anyone
I
would just
such
jump
a
out at it,
weeb?
but I really, really like that.
I am
anime.
such a weeb that, like, I'm the kind of person to be like, okay, what the hell's Blue Exorcist? Oh, you mean Ao Exorcist? Oh, you mean
Oh,
the
yeah.
Jedi?
God. Oh, my God. You're so insufferable sometimes. Oh, wait, My Hero Academia. Oh, you mean Boku? No,
I literally think of it as Boku no Hero Academia in my head.
Shut up! Shut up!
It's
Someone
not.
said-
Shut up! No, it's not.
Yes.
It's not. I'm not saying. No. Hear me out before you start yelling at me for my take. It's not that I think that you can't call it by the English name. It's that I just find it fascinating because English names usually are thought of that way because of the anime, because they usually use the English name. But in a lot, even if you're reading translated mangas, they usually don't translate the full name. So if you read the manga, which I did for things like Boku no Hero and Ao no Exorcist, you see the Japanese name first, and then it's not until it's made into an anime, which is not my initial medium for most things, that you see the so, like, for me, I go Shigeki no Kyojin. I don't go Attack on Titan. But that's literally what I was exposed to, the name Shigeki no Kyojin for a long
I've never
time.
seen
before
Attack on Titan, but I know what Attack on Titan is. I know
But
what
no.
I've never.
I'd say, but
Like,
I would say that I'm a weeb that I have to translate it in my head for me to acknowledge what it is. I don't just think, all right, I have to, like, pause for a second.
I think you're being pretentious when you do that. If you want my bad take of the day.
How is that a pretentious because of how my mind
Oh, I
thinks?
don't recognize it by its English name. Oh, my bad. No, I'm sorry.
How is that
That's
that's
not a
pretentious?
Japanese title.
Pretentious would be Hebi. You need to call it Ao no Exorcist. That's pretentious. It's not pretentious for me to say that's how I think.
Oh
Okay,
my
okay,
God.
okay. My second favorite anime is Dungeon ni Die wo Motomeru no wa Machete Darakawa na Dekinai.
Did you look
I
that
have
up
no idea
while
what
we
the
were
fuck
talking?
You had to have looked
No,
that
So
up.
is
it
that
wrong to
how
try to
is
pick
that
up
how
girls
to
in
pick
a dungeon?
yourself? I
It's
was gonna
Danmachi.
say I know exactly what series that is though.
I did that just so to see if tFay knew what I was talking
I knew
about.
what that was. I was like, all right, there's only one series that exists that has that long of a name with the word dungeon in it.
Yeah, is that stupid? Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yeah.
One-
It's the,
Did you
it's
just
the-
say
it's the-
stupid?
I mean, I didn't say stupid.
Is it wrong?
No, you
all
wanna
right,
know
all
why
right.
I
This is
said
literally
stupid? I'll tell
heavy
you
5
why.
seconds ago. Hold on. This is literally heavy. One of my favorite series, Jack right afterwards. That's stupid anime.
No, I'll tell you why I said that. Like, why is that stupid? Because some of these titles are just ridiculously long.
It's the light
No,
novel
that's
thing.
because they're based on. It's light novels, Jack. It's literally
Yeah.
light novels. Light novel titles. If you translate them into English,
They're like Fallout Boy
specifically,
albums.
they're like really, really long, and they sound ridiculous because they're not meant to be said in English. They're meant to be written in Japanese.
Oh yeah.
It's like a running meme. It's like you can look up YouTube videos of people who've made bots, like AIs, to generate light novel titles by just stringing together random words into sentences, and you cannot tell the difference. It literally sounds like a light novel title because
Yeah.
their names are so ridiculous. Okay, here's a spin. All right, inspired by Hebi and Jack right here. Here's a
Ooh,
spin on the favorite anime thing. All right, what is your favorite anime that most people will say is stupid?
Oh
So-
God.
Throw
Alright,
out your
it's-
guilty pleasures. I like
yeah,
it.
basically guilty. It's really easy to
Um,
say I love One Piece. Oh, everybody loves One
not
Piece.
sure if
Did you know I like
Not sure if I
Cheetos?
want to. I might
wait,
get
what?
some hate for this one, but I'm actually gonna say
It's a guilty pleasure. That's
gotta
the
think
point.
of the name of it now. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I just blanked out, but it's a Trigger production.
Oh,
I
it's
see.
not. It's not.
Darling in the Franks.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
mean,
could see why
Darling
that
the-
is. You know,
Darling
Okay.
in Franks was good
got
until it
s-
ended.
that was the thing. It was very promising at the beginning, and then it was just like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know. I just feel like
I
it
don't
got
even-
way too much hate.
I guess so. I
Yeah.
guess so. I'm trying to think of like something that's my guilty pleasure, and it's tough. Like I have
No,
to
no,
go
I'm trying to
through.
think too. I'm trying to think, Jack. I'm like, I know I suggested it,
All right.
but it is tough.
All
for me
right,
to
you
think of
want?
something.
Okay. Do you? I'll.
You know
I'll go
what?
ahead
There
and
is
put
one that I really do like that I remember
Okay,
that
yeah.
people
never
trashed
mind,
it
I wasn't gonna say
completely,
anything.
and
Never mind.
and I have to.
Let's go. Fuck off. Whatever.
Sorry. No,
Okay,
there was a
yeah.
show called Blood Sea, which I really,
Oh,
really
God.
loved. But I know a lot of people, didn't like it for either the writing or something. But I just really liked the style of that show, and I felt people were way too unfair to that thing. Now maybe my things will change, like my opinion will change to it. Like the last episode, it was like incredibly disturbing, but I think it's a lot better than I think people have written about it. It's just what I think. I couldn't believe that people were so.
Was that a tie-in to the Blood Plus series?
No.
Yeah, it was
Wait, was Bloodseed tied into Blood
It-
Plus?
Blood. Yes, it is. It is kind of the same thing. It's a clamp. Clamp did it.
No, I know that Clamp did it, but I thought that Blood Plus was like an entirely different like storyline.
It's kind of the same storyline. This one is like a similar storyline, but like there's a couple of key differences. I watched it in like one night because I was just intrigued by it, and I couldn't stop wondering like, where is this going? Where is this going? And I mean, I wasn't disappointed by it at the end, but
Uh,
I don't
I know
know.
it's
People
good.
like
Yeah. I was gonna say Blood Sea has like it feels like such early 2000s vibes, and that vibe that like era of
Everything
anime
was trying to
does
be
get a
dark
lot
and
of
gritty, and
long
Or the
limbs. and
cartoons
really
weren't just for
skinny-
kids.
It gets a lot of hate. A lot of anime in that era get a lot of hate.
But
Ah.
I happen
Trinity
to enjoy
Blood,
it quite
Blood
a bit.
Plus.
Trinity Blood was fine. I didn't think it was anything.
Whoa. Trinity Blood is not all right. All right. Anime
I
or
said
manga? Because they're
fine.
completely. No, I'm talking to Heavy. Trinity
Anime,
Blood is very
anime.
different if you compare anime. Okay, anime's sure.
Witch Hunter Robin.
Jeez, I'm trying
I'm
to
just
think.
trying to think of all those dark
I'm
and
trying to
gritty.
think. I'm
and
trying to think of
kinda
shit take
mature-
anime that I've like liked. Part of me, I mean, it's a canceled series. Part of me wants to say High School of the Dead. I thought was very good, but I could also argue that people like it because boobs. I don't know if that's a shit take or not.
No,
I mean,
that's
I thought it
probably
had a
probably
good
true.
premise.
There
Honestly,
are
It's such a good premise. The premise was zombie apocalypse. That's the premise.
Yeah, it
boobs.
was a pretty boring.
I mean,
It's boring.
I mean,
to
to
me.
be fair, zombies blew up, and there was like everything was trying to capitalize
I
on their
think
genre.
that I do not like the zombie apocalypse genre. I think that High School of the Dead in particular did the zombie apocalypse genre very well, especially because it wasn't zombie apocalypse with a twist. All right,
I agree.
So I'm gonna list another, like, this is a manhwa, right? It's called The Last Human, which is a zombie apocalypse with a twist where zombie apocalypse happened, all right, and then a guy dies. He's the last human, like literally the last one in the world, and then eventually he eventually dies in the zombie apocalypse, and then he's reborn. Like he like wakes up in his old younger body the day before the zombie apocalypse started, and so he has all his memories. He knows who's an asshole. He knows where to go and all this stuff. Like that's zombie apocalypse with a twist. High School of the Dead is literally zombie apocalypse.
High schoolers surviving
Zombie
with high
apocalypse
schoolers.
with high schoolers with big boobs. Like there's
But
there's
big
your
boobs
twist.
is not a twist. All right.
It's a twist on the
Well, there's
zombie
some-
apocalypse.
No,
There's a
it's
twist
not.
going on, all right.
I mean, I was gonna say those boobs twist a lot around those bullets.
They do. They twist around bullets, literally.
Yes, but that's not a twist of the series. That's I do not
It's
consider
kind of.
putting
twist with the nipples.
if the story does not change at all because of quote unquote twist, then it's not a twist. You could
It
literally
is,
make
because who are you focusing the characters around? You're not focusing it around.
No, but
your
nothing in the
generic-
story. Nothing in the story even acknowledges how big their boobs are. Their big boobs are not even referenced. Like there's literally nothing that happens that changes.
Yeah,
like you could lower the size of their boobs, and literally nothing would change except for the one scene with the sniper in the anime with shoots between them. That's the only thing that would change the entire series.
Yeah, but I think there's a big
You know what
difference between
That camera angle actually reminded me of was the backdrop opening to the original Thundercats.
Mhm.
That kind of camera pan away thing while the bullet was flying through.
Oh,
Hold
yeah.
on, I'm still trying to find more shit take anime. Well, I didn't mean hold on like as in actually stop talking.
Oh, sorry. Words. Those are things that come out of my mouth.
every time I try and talk, someone talks over me. So I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna let everyone else talk.
Noctis, take the floor.
Nope. It's the second I do, tFay is gonna burst out that he has an idea, or Jack's gonna chime in. I'm
First of all,
bitter
I
and
don't think I've
angry and
interrupted
upset.
you once this entire podcast. I've
There
argued
you
with
go.
you, but
Oh my god! Mostly because you know what I want to talk. I want to talk about Mobile Fighter G Gundam.
Oh yeah.
but
I want to talk
can...
like
wait, hold up. Yeah, that's a pretty high favorite for me in terms of shit anime.
like it gets so much hate when I try to talk about Gundam, like, and I bring G Gundam up at all. Oh my god, is it a fight to like? Does it have to be your favorite? No. Do you have to admit it's the best Gundam? No. But like, is it really that bad? What did I watch as a kid that I'm like, this is pretty
who
good.
are you talking to though? Are they
Last time I talked to someone
fans?
about Gundam. Yes,
Are they Gundam fans? See, that's why they hate it.
Yes,
I was
and
gonna say,
that's
I've never been a big mecha.
It's
That's-
not a
that's
mecha series, all right? It's perfect. You have to look if you want to compare it if you want to put it in a Gundam conversation. Yes, you're gonna get hated on. All right?
I know, and that's not
Because
fair.
why? It's not a Gundam series. Like it is a Gundam series, but it's not a Gundam. Gundam series are like what really defines Gundam series is the mobile suits, all right, the politics involved, the like the
Like
the
you
thematics,
realize
and these
the
are
G Gundam's
not
all about countries
no.
represented by
This, yes,
one
but
Gundam.
this is
That's all
literally
about
it's a giant tournament arc. Okay, G Gundam is a tournament arc, and it's great and it's amazing. All right, and I love it to death. And I can write you an essay on that series, but it is not a good Gundam series. Okay, it is
G
not a
Gundam
good
alone.
Gundam series.
Yeah, that is a good Gundam series. Is
No,
it?
it's
Is
a
it
good
like
series that
others?
happens to have Gundam in the name. All right, what they pilot
Gundam
are
in the
not
name.
true
Gundam's in the
Gundams.
plot.
All right,
It's all
what,
like
no, what they pilot are not real Gundams. If you actually go into the fandom lore of what a Gundam is, those are not Gundams. They just
Oh.
happen to be mechas.
Oh my god. Do you like
And
like
this is where Noctis says he
Gundam.
hates fandoms.
Oh my god, yes, it is. It is, because it always comes down to this, like, that doesn't count.
Well,
Sorry,
if
those aren't
You
Gundams.
brought up why people yell
I
at
know.
you.
I know. And see, the same conversation I've had with you, I've had with others. And it's infuriating because guess what? They weren't showing the original Gundam when I was growing up on Toonami. They were showing G Gundam. So that
But
was
they were
my
showing,
first.
were they not showing Gundam Wing at the same time? I'm pretty sure they aired at least very similar, close to each other.
I don't remember. But would you really show G Gundam and Mobile Suit Gundam at the same time?
No, Gundam Wing. Not
Gundam
Mobile
Wing
Suit.
at the same time. Yeah, okay.
Gundam Wing
Yeah.
is more of a it shows more of what a Gundam series is about, even though that's hated on too by people for different
Yes,
reasons.
I've heard
funny
the
because
argument.
Gundam Wing is like the one I hear the most about, and I'm not a Gundam person
Because
so I
it was
don't know
on
jack about the
Toonami,
series.
Hebi. It
Yeah.
was on Toonami, so that means everybody saw it.
Yes, it's oh god, it's exhausting. I don't know why I brought it up. Maybe because
Could be worse. Could be Gundam SD.
I don't remember
Whoops.
Gundam SD.
I'm trying really hard not to yell at Heavy for not calling it SD Gundam.
SD Gundam is a
Don't
whole
remember.
different. It's a whole different ball game, right?
Are we talking Superior Defender Gundam Force?
All right, for anyone who doesn't know what SD Gundam is, did you ever watch Cartoon Network, as a kid, and see a trailer for a weird show with Gundam in the name, but it looked confusing because the Gundams were really tiny and they were like as big as the children, and they were like AIs, like they weren't suits you piloted. They were just people that happened to be tiny, cute mechas.
Yeah,
That's
was
SD
Metabots, but
Gundam.
with Gundams.
That's SD Gundam. No, it's not Metabots with Gundam. Metabot was great. All right, I could give you another rant about Metabots. Underrated.
it was basically
for its time. SD
the
Gundam
first part
sucks.
of
Basically,
Metabots.
Transformers Beast Wars, but with Gundams. The big popularity with the CG thing going on.
Steve, this is where we argue about
you
what
just hate fandoms. You just hate fandoms.
You're very easy to hate, though. That's in
I'm not
his
disagreeing
defense.
with you. All right, I've literally said on this podcast before that every fandom sucks in its own unique way.
I mean,
Oh
it's
my
very
God.
hard for me where I
Speaking of
can
fans.
find a fandom where it doesn't suck, and it's very hard to do. Very hard to do.
Even the fandoms that I'm in. All right,
Avatar.
I will
No,
say
never mind. Not Avatar. I was gonna say Avatar before Korra.
I know, I think there's a lot of people
Avatar-
that have.
Oh, don't get me started on the who's Korra allowed to be with the end of the series are like controversy.
No,
That's-
we're talking just the entire series. Like
all right, to be
Korra gets
fair-
a lot of hate.
To be fair, they had a kaiju battle, and you really don't expect Korra to get hate. They had a kaiju
Confession
battle.
time.
That's amazing. Why on earth would that be?
Finish
not
either
amazing.
series.
It was amazing. Why is that a problem? I'm so blown away. Like they shouldn't have a kaiju battle.
want me to-
Well, why
see-
is there a giant lion turtle that knows how to freaking spirit bend?
I'm
Teaching
afraid
Aang
to
that at
answer
the
this
end of
because
book
Noctis is
3.
then going to start hating on the Avatar fandom.
Like exactly.
No,
Like, go ahead.
I'll just say I think that there's some people that have way too much time on their hands.
All right,
Can we all
yeah.
at least agree
All right,
that
but
Uwe
there's-
Boll is a terrible video game movie director?
Okay, I will agree with both Hebi and Jack here. All right, but editor, edit the part of me agreeing with Hebi. Like when there's literally people on YouTube who go, how would the entire plot of Dragon Ball Z be if Goku had COVID and died early in the series? That what? Why are you theory crafting this? By the way, that's literally a YouTube video. You shouldn't.
Yeah,
why
well-
do people have time to theory craft this?
I mean, didn't that basically happen during the Android arc?
It kind of did.
Yo, but there. Well, I mean, it's basic. Yeah, but the point is that people make like entire videos about like theory crafting and stuff like this.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, even the guys from T4 Star, I think Kaiser Neko has entire series about
Yeah.
what if Vegeta had been good right from the get-go? What if Nappa had gone Super Saiyan? Stuff like that. Yeah, you're always going to have fans that want to...
So
And I'm
How
okay
would you
with
even
that.
know Nappa
So
was
basically,
Super
all right,
Saiyan?
I'm
He
gonna
has no
try.
hair.
I'm gonna
He
try.
has-
Feel free
His
to
mustache
correct me.
turns
All right?
blonde.
Someone feel free to tell me I'm wrong. I'm gonna try to summarize why Noctis hates fandoms. All right. So basically, for Noctis just wants to look at each individual thing and just say, does he like it or does he not? And fandoms are not about that. Fandoms are basically on how this represents the medium, the franchise like as a whole. So like for the kaiju battle, like with Avatar, right? Avatar is about representing martial arts and elements and their relationship between each other and how cool you can do something. Kaiju battle is I'm big, punch in face, which is great in its own context.
I
love kaiju battles.
But it wasn't
right?
a kaiju battle, even, honestly.
You
Because you didn't have two kaiju. You had one kaiju.
No, you do
Are we-
not
oh,
tell
wait,
me.
wait,
No,
are you talking about-
giant.
Go ahead.
If you are a giant being, you're a kaiju. All right, I do
No,
not think you
you're
have to be.
no. So it shouldn't be called Mobile Fighter G Gundam. It should be Mobile Fighter G Kaiju. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm
Because they're
saying
not Gundam.
no. See, this is where you get finicky in defining Gundams. So if you're
You
gonna
were
go by
being
the
finicky about defining kaiju.
no, if you're gonna say I'm not being finicky, that's what kaijus are. I'm agreeing with your point, Doc. I like the kaiju battle personally. I like the kaiju battle. I think it's cool in a vacuum. I do not think it's cool as in something that represents Avatar, and this is my point about fandoms. They don't look at it is this entertaining? It's does this work well with the entire Zelda universe that we believe in? Like, if they made a Zelda game where Zelda had black hair, people are probably gonna go nuts because they're like, oh, all Zeldas have to have blonde hair, yada yada yada. All Links have to wear green, yada yada. They need the continuity.
I would say it feels like you're getting further away from your point. I think you're incorrect on your point of why I don't like fandoms. I think why I don't like fandoms is because they're very exclusionary, especially.
That's literally my point.
New people. That's not your point.
Yes,
no,
my
you
point.
just
Why are they exclusionary? Why are they exclusionary? Because if something does not match with what the overall, like the overall agreed upon storyline, fandom, franchise, whatever, then they don't want it. That's your point is what you're saying is literally a result of my point.
No, it's not. You were just talking about how media is like how every piece of media is supposed to be represented properly. My point isn't that. My point is the exclusionary side.
Yes,
you didn't even mention how exclusionary
my point.
they were.
If you listen, it's they want everything to be in that. So, thus, as a result of that, if it's not in that, they exclude it.
Yeah, no, exclusionary isn't about the media itself. It's about new fans.
Why do you think they're no? Why? It's not new fans. It's new fans who have the different opinions as them. It's if you were to go into if you're a new fan to Gundam and you literally go the original Mobusu Gundam's the best thing ever, you're not gonna get people hating on your opinion.
You will, because you're gonna have the toxic like chunk of the Gundam fandom that watched Gundam Wing growing up, and that's what they love. And anything other than that doesn't count. Sorry, it's too old. They don't transform. Blah blah blah. Don't bring up the my point is they pick out little things about why parts of it aren't good. Yes, that is true to what you just said. My point though is
Then
that I
what's
don't
the
care
point?
about how. Because my point is they're exclusionary to new fans. It's just like comic book readers when you
What?
want to introduce a new version of a character. Like when they want to, let's say, bring in a new Captain America or a new Batman.
Okay,
Old
so then
butthurt fandom
But
gets mad
half
about
of what you react to, are you saying you're a new fan every time you get mad at a fandom? Like, when we literally have an argument about, like, let's say, like, anime fan. Are you a new fan of anime that you're gonna get mad at the anime fandom?
Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
my point is, like, hey, I just watched Mobile Fighter G Gundam. This is really cool. Let's go talk to people about Gundam. Hey guys, what do you think about this Gundam? And then I'm called an idiot for liking something
But
other
that's
than
not
Gundam
because
Wing.
you're new.
It is because I'm new, because I have no experience with the IP.
But they
I'm
don't know
bringing
that you're new. It's
a
the
little bit
literal
of knowledge right now.
opinion that you have. It's not, oh, he's new to Gundam, I don't like him. It's your opinion is that you like G Gundam.
But I guess it's exclusionary to new people unless
I need to set
no,
like a
it is.
timer alarm to shut these down.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen G Gundam, so I'm completely like kind of. I mean, I've seen Wing and I've seen Double O, and I happen to really like Double O and Seed, but Seed is
Okay, hold
not
up,
as
hold up,
well
hold up.
received.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a giant hammer at Seed right there.
I
Oh,
didn't
wow.
say I like Seed. I thought Double O was like. I think Double O was one of
Double
the better
O
ones.
Double O is literally Gundam Wing with better budget.
No, I mean the thing with well, the weird thing
What do
is
you
I
mean
think
they've
with
even
Double O is that there's a lot of issues that I could see like this could definitely happen. Like this could definitely happen. Like more so than I would with Gundam Wing. I could see so many
even
things
the
going on in
people
Double
who
O.
made when Double O was like airing and like everyone like they said like yeah inspired by Gundam Wing. Where it's like redoing like the general plot line of Gundam Wing.
Yeah, but I like
with more
the
money.
I like the idea of the space elevator. I actually thought that was and I think they are making something similar right now. I'm not sure if that's correct, but that was something that seemed incredibly plausible.
So I need to talk to Peachan. I think I'm just gonna have them rework a costume for my my PNG to have like a referee outfit, and I'll just jump in between you guys and be like, "Break it up."
All right. So
Good
how
luck with
about let's
that.
talk about Digimon Frontier. All right. Let's talk about another fun series that's hated by the community
Wait,
because it was
what?
a bit different. Digimon Frontier.
First of all, every season of Digimon's different, and every season of Digimon is hated by the community. Not your best example.
No, the
Okay,
third
are you
one is
gonna
the
tell me-
exception.
Are
The
you telling me
third-
Frontier isn't the one that's hated the
Gamers?
most?
I'm saying that every season past like 2 is hated by a large parts of the Digimon community.
I think
I
the
don't know why
main reason I
people hate
didn't
on
connect with
3.
Frontier,
People hate on
Was
3
because,
because of cards. They don't.
I think the main reason I didn't connect with Frontier though was because they did away with the actual Digimon companions and just made the kids turn into the
Yeah.
Digimon.
Yeah.
See, I thought that's when it finally got interesting because otherwise you're stuck with like instead of Pokemon where each kid has like interesting different Pokemon, you have one monster that fights until they can't fight, and then they go up a level and then fight. Oh, can't fight anymore. Up a level. There you go. There's
That
the win.
logic is a bit debatable in Digimon because at some like when you go, all right, let's start with original Digimon as an example. All right, Agumon,
Okay.
Greymon, Mega, Metal Greymon or Skull Greymon, depending on your preference, and then like the Mega, right? It's like all right, you have like stages, like there's coherence. It makes like all right, yeah, I'm leveling up. In later Digimon, it's like every Digimon could turn into whatever the fuck they want, based on like what if 15 different circumstances. Like you thought that Agumon turns into Greymon? No. Agumon could also turn into like 3 other Digimon depending on the circumstances, and it kind of just gets so confusing.
The third season of Digimon, I think is the best one. Honestly, I honestly believe it is, and it's
I think
just
if you're gonna
because
look
of-
at them in a vacuum, third season is probably one of the best.
yes,
Third season
well,
had a really good story arc.
That's the thing, and it was written by Chiaki Kanaka, who had written Serial Experiments Lane, most notably. So right there, it was a different tone than I was used. Like it was a very, very different tone and very dark compared to like the other shows. Like I remember watching it, and I was like, There were
I mean, it
parts of
depends
that
what you
that
want.
made
What
me
what do you
absolutely
Yeah.
cry.
What do you want from your series, basically? Whether you are a part of the original series or, a new fan, or as I try to like cohesively tie everything together here, it's very dependent on what you want going into it. So like, let's say, whether you like first 2 seasons of Digimon, gonna tie them together for obvious reasons, right? Like very much on friendship and companionship, like that's how the Digimon gets stronger. But it's like not very, high action, right? Most of the fights are shoot something and say its name out loud, right?
No, the third one had
Third season is so much action. It's so intense. But people
there's a
also
lot
go,
of action,
yeah,
but there was
it's
also
like,
a lot of shocking moments that I
it's
never
like more darker,
expected
but
to
like,
see.
and there's also the card game, and a lot of people like this is. You can argue whether it's fair to judge the anime because of this. A lot of people didn't like the third season because it was basically marketing the card game, which barely anyone understood how to play anyway.
Yeah, I mean, fair
think-
enough. Yes and no, but like, I
The
just thought
card,
it was
card game sucked.
the card
it
game
was
is
so
one thing, but for me, I think the story ended up becoming a lot better as it went
No,
along.
I
and
agree
can't-
with you. I'm 100% agreeing with you. And like, let's take like Frontier, for example, where they're fusing it. Like, if you don't compare it to the other Digimons, them fusing with their Digimon would no longer be a problem, right? You are thinking like, oh, man, people don't look at it like fusing with their Digimon is dumb just in a vacuum. People get mad because that's not what Digimon is. It's like, you're supposed to
That blows me
have
away, 'cause I
danger for
watched
the
Digimon
humans.
growing up. I watched Digimon growing up, and then I watched Digimon Frontier, and it was actually the first series I could actually give a shit. The first Digimon I actually cared about.
Wow.
Like for me,
I feel
it's
so
Digimon,
old now.
That's a hot
Digimon
take.
the movie, then the first 2 seasons, and I haven't seen any other Digimon to be honest.
So,
I was
When I-
12 years old when Tamers
Alright.
came out.
I mean, personally, and keep in mind, not hating on Frontier. I'm merely saying that, like, people, like, I do find it strange, just from an objective point of view, not saying it's bad or good, take your pick,
You're good.
that the people in other Digimon series, part of the quote-unquote threat, besides just losing the battle, is the fact that the humans are in danger during the entire fight because they're just humans. Even if they're supplying power to the Digimon, they have to literally be in the battlefield, which I'm not going to spoil one of the most recent series, but, shit happens because of that fact. And if you're
in
fusing
Digimon
with the
Adventure?
Digimon, you're removing that element, right? You still have the companion, and fusing is cool, great. Everyone loves fusion, right? Fusion, but you're removing that human is in danger aspect, which is a very different take on
I mean,
Digimon.
how are you not in danger if you get killed while you're inside
Yeah.
the fusion?
No, because you can still win the battle. In Digimon, you can win the battle, like be a stronger Digimon, but then your human gets attacked and then you get fucked. All right? How do you think Wizardmon died? Rip Wizardmon. He died saving
Jesus.
someone else because they were in danger.
I guess this mindset of this series is too different. I don't like it. That blows me away. It's like, are there these small things, like the people are still in a digital world. They're still doing digital adventures, digital monsters. Like it's Digimon.
Oh, that was
Like
actually
you still have the power up level. Like you still have the digivolving.
I
similar
actually
to
saw a
original.
video literally today that was discussing that, and they were agreeing with you, Noctis, just as a heads up.
No,
They were saying how people
yeah.
look at things that are different and judge it negatively because different. When different just means different. When you're saying something's different, that should not imply positive or negative. So if you're going to say Digimon Frontier is different because they fuse with their Digimon, that should not put in your mind as a viewer, like, is that good or bad? Because different is not a judgmental adjective. It is merely comparative.
This seems to be like everywhere. It's not just like in Japan, in America. It's all over. Because take a fandom, doesn't matter what it is, and you do something a little different, and you piss off the fandom.
I mean, hell,
and
why
all
do you
these...
think, like, racism is like that? Like, especially early racism, you could argue that a lot of pride issues are like that too. It's like people just don't want different from either them or what was before.
So Gundam fans that don't like Mobile Suit Gundam G Gundam are racist. Got it. All right. I'm gonna go.
No,
check
I'm gonna argue that if you like G
and
Gundam,
tell
you can
them-
be racist if you've seen that show. That show is so racist, super racist. And I say,
Oh
if you
my
like
God.
G Gundam, you're racist, and you want to go there.
I mean, I've never seen it, so I can't comment. You know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Jack, quick lowdown for you. Every country apparently has a Gundam that represents them.
Oh, I remember hearing about
Yep.
this. Isn't there something
And-
like there's the Mexican Gundam?
Yes, and it's wearing a sombrero. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but sir, you have a windmill Gundam.
So it's a Talia
Yeah,
with an X.
Like the app. All right, for example, like some of the main Gundams, right? They're just cool designs, right? Then you have like the Gundam from Africa, the Zebra Gundam. It's like
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, the Mexican Gundam does have a sombrero on it. Wow.
I
I'm seeing them all here.
Oh my
Oh, by the
God.
way, if
So
they
that's where,
change,
like-
hold up, just to emphasize
Go
how bad that particular one is. All right, they changed. If you watch the dub, they changed its name. You know, try to save what they could. The original name is Tequila Gundam.
Oh, it is the Tequila
That's
Gundam. The Zeus Gundam. I mean, I don't know what the Malaysia thing with the skull is. Is that what it is? I don't know what that flag is. The skull Gundam. Is that Malaysia?
Freaking Norway's a Viking Gundam. I'm looking at these and just remembering how racist this show is.
Yeah, but I can't see anything like that's weird
No,
about
yeah,
the
not-
Cuban Gundam.
Not every
Yeah.
Gundam is racist. Just to throw that out there.
Oh,
there
there
are many Gundams
yeah.
that are just normal Gundams.
Yeah,
There
the space
is a
colony
Canada.
Neo Mexico. The space colony Neo Mexico is in the shape of a sombrero,
Yeah.
though. That's
Yeah, no. I think the Canada Gundam. It's the it's like the Wood Gundam or the Forest something. It's something like that, right? I I don't know. And yes, I can see why people would be upset about this, but not like it. But that's not what's brought up. We're like what's
Yeah,
brought
no,
up.
I
is that
agree.
it's
That's
not
not
good
why
Gundams
people.
here.
I just laughed because you said if you don't like G Gundam, you're racist. And then you
Yeah.
look at the show.
Yes, I get.
I did not expect this night to turn into this.
yeah. We were discussing the racial
Hebi. This
sentiments
is how.
of Gundams.
Yeah, that's how these go.
We're
You
not
know
even
that, Hebi. You
drunk.
were here
We're not
for the
even
first
drunk.
time.
At least I think I'm not. But you know.
I still
me
blame
neither.
Hebi. I still blame Hebi. He brought up anime. All right.
Eh,
Eh.
and I'm probably
That-
the least weeb here.
That is a trigger for me and tFay. Because we both I think we have different histories when it comes to anime.
I like
Uh,
listening though, and
It-
it's
Noctis's experience with anime. Oh, I'm a kid. I'm watching anime. This stuff is cool. I'm gonna talk about it. tFay, growing up, I am diving into the fandom, and I'm gonna talk to everyone I can about like, you know, how they look at things, why things are liked, and all that stuff. Like, I very much look
you
at
have the
things.
internet?
then you have
when you
Jack
were
who
talking
could
to
tell you
people?
the directors
No,
or
I
writers,
had
fiance's
like,
cousin's life history.
before I use the internet, I just talk to people.
Yeah, no.
I-
Everyone I grew up with liked stuff like Mobile Fighter G Gundam. They like stuff like Digimon Frontier. They like that's why it's so shocking to me when I get on the internet and I want to talk to people about these old shows that I loved, and they just they don't want to talk about them. They just want to bash them. I'm sure I don't know. The last time I talked about Digimon Frontier, I got into a yelling match. Shocker, I know. About it. Shocker, I'm well aware. But like everyone I grew up with liked Mobile Fighter G Gundam. Like no one said this is dumb. This isn't what Gundam Wing is. I had friends that watched Gundam Wing. I never did. But I that's why it's so weird. It's so weird to me to have hate for some of these series like that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be a Hebi, and I'm gonna stop here as we need to start wrapping up our podcast here. We could keep ranting on in our post podcast session and all that stuff, but we do need to wrap up this session
Fair enough.
because
Oh,
you
yeah.
know
Fair enough.
the
It's a lot of
rules
fun.
of podcasts 2 hours.
Was it a lot of fun for you guys? Like, let's get some honest opinions here. It's the end of the show.
I
I'm not
mean,
even
it
sure
really depends
where
on
the
what they
timer
come.
ended.
You know, like I think that the tech talk in the first half was very interesting. I'm not sure what the transition was before. I know the transition how we start talking about anime for over half an hour. That was Hebi's fault. I don't know how we got to the transition from tech into the thing that we are talking about after tech before anime. I might have to go back and check that
I
out.
can't even remember.
There was nothing between the tech talk and anime. We were talking about the specs on audio instruments, and then Hebi said anime, and that's when it started.
Is that what happened? Maybe.
I
I remember.
No, wait,
Pretty
no.
sure
You
y'all
said
were on a
anime.
tangent about something. I was like, well,
Oh,
let's,
weird. Yeah, you
let's
were,
direct it back to Jack.
What is inappropriate like representation for race in Hollywood?
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. Okay, I remember now.
Yeah.
I'm still
No, we
looking
talked
at. I'm
about
still
that.
looking at these Gundams. G Gundam and how racist.
And
it's
then we
all.
got on we were talking about hot takes, and I was just like, hey, hot take. What's your favorite anime?
No, you told me.
No,
You told me,
you asked Jack about his favorite anime, and then I was asking what your favorite, and then I asked
Guilty
people to
pleasure,
say their
yeah.
shit
No,
take
because
anime.
I have the Doge avatar here, and you said like, well, you could have been like the Richard Iowata character from,
right. And
from
then
the
you said
IT
you did.
Club, and I said no way because they would absolutely eat me alive, you know, for being
Yeah.
white.
Okay, next time
How
you're
dare
on
you.
the podcast, we'll use the Mobile Fighter G Gundam, the one
Yeah.
representing Neo Canada. The Lumber
Yeah.
Gundam. There it is. I found
Lumber
it.
Gundam. I did take a look at the Neo
Wait,
Canada
all
Gundam.
right, guys. So, before we let our guests sign off, I'd like to give a big shout out to our to our Patreon now for the podcast. We have a Patreon now, and it is very lovely. You can, support the podcast, get some extra content, join the Discord, and I'd like to give shout outs to our patrons who already signed up. We have Katie K, Banana Iced Lambie. Yes, I'm saying that on purpose. Mr. Clean the Banana. And Vix Starlight, who just recently
Ooh.
joined the Patreon.
Look at that.
Clean the banana.
So,
right.
yeah, all of you guys who joined the Patreon, thank you so much. All of that money will be put towards podcast-related things, and we will update you on that. Maybe we'll just jump into buying Noctis one of the mics that Jack recommended, because gosh, he needs one.
I mean,
wait. Jack said I didn't. I thought.
I mean, speaking of the
was
next
gonna
big,
Hold on,
big
we
ticket
gotta
item that I need to
wrap up. Don't
purchase.
say speaking of and start a new conversation. We can do that after the
sorry.
20. We have
Damn
to
it! We
wrap
almost
up.
did it. We almost did it. We almost took it off the rails. Damn it. Oh well. I tried.
So Hebi, Jack, any final words before we sign off here?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing something like this. This is my first time I've ever really done any kind of podcasting, and yeah, it was a very good interview, and I loved getting the chance to talk about different topics with you guys here, and I would 10 out of 10 would definitely come back again.
So I just
You'd
want to
have me.
point out that us learning about Jack today was kind of like when everyone found out that Xeons did art, and now apparently everyone's just obsessed with Xeons' art. People are like, wait, Jack knows about tech? Everyone's like saving his username to task for help. All right, Hebi, any final words from you?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for having me in again. Didn't really get to say a whole lot the whole time, but I enjoyed interacting. Screw it.
tFay's kind of a blowhard.
What's the theme here? Shameless self plug. I do have a GoFundMe still going on for the housing thing. I've lowered the goal because we've had a lot of different changes, and I've updated my budget a lot, so we're pretty close to having everything we need. But I could still use some help if anybody wants to share that. I have it on my Twitter.
Yeah, guys, if you like Hebi's stream and want to indirectly help him fund his tech, feel free to go check out his GoFundMe. I'll throw it in the description if you're on YouTube. Donate for his house, which he'll then use to buy parts on Amazon, which will then give him Amazon points, so then he can buy tech that Jack recommends.
Well, I was gonna, if I can, am I allowed to plug away here a little bit? or
You
no?
are allowed to plug away.
Yeah, so of course I have my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/jcox1987. I'm sure one of you will throw that up there in the shout out.
Now
Part
that was
I'm usually
shameless.
on.
Love it. I'm sure you'll shout me out. Otherwise, I'll be very awkward.
I'm usually on at around 5 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. And tomorrow we're doing Shadow Hearts from the New World. But also, if you're feeling generous, and of course, hey, I'm not saying that you have to donate money, but I'm almost close to getting my office chair, a new office chair, so I'm not sitting on this godforsaken garden seat.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really am. I'm sitting on a gardening
It's like in a
chair
folding
right now
lawn
doing
chair.
this.
I'm gonna
That's
compare
fascinating.
for fun the shameless plugs here. Hebi asking for money for his house. Jack said
Yeah.
in the beginning of stream, "I have so much money," and then
Yeah.
requests donations for a chair.
Hey, I mean, I have to. I have money, but at the
Had
same
money.
time, I have money, had money. It's a
Yeah.
matter of
Hey, I'm all
That
for
money's
it.
going
to his
I
giveaway,
respect.
alright?
You know,
said that
people
and-
know me. I always respect the shameless plug. I just find the comparison funny.
No,
That's fair.
but I mean, I've been putting a lot of my own money towards this actually. Like it's not like I've just waited for other people to donate money. Some people have donated, but a lot of it is mine that just, comes in a little bit each week and a little more, and I'm almost halfway there. But if somebody wants me to sit in comfort a little bit faster, I won't say no.
Fair
Yeah, I
enough.
mean, we're definitely open to having people on again. Honestly, guys, like very literally, we are in so need of guests. We are so close to just having like no guests on the podcast, just because we don't have.
They're
we don't
hurting
have
so bad they
guests.
invited me back.
Yeah, so if you just want to be on the podcast again, very shamelessly, please DM us.
I
And
can
we'll
probably
put you
do
on the
that because this
podcast.
is Wednesday and I don't really stream on Wednesdays, so you're good. You have me there usually. If you do this Wednesday.
Yeah, and if you guys want to have a technical advice column with Jack in the future, feel free to throw us questions, and then we'll ask Jack on stream.
Ask the
who's this?
Doge. I like it.
And we can even come up with anonymous names like Midriff Degenerate 89. I'm sorry, 69.
Degenerate.
Wants
Hey,
to know
Your favorite anime character in 6 digits.
I've got to say though
Oh,
that there are a lot of, how would I put it? I wouldn't say like I'm a degenerate on Twitch, but like there are some streams that I love that are kind of like, hectic or chaotic. And I love those streams. And there's only a handful of them on there. But I'll just say the TTS bot gets a lot of work.
But yeah. So guys, obviously links to all the stuff they said can be down below the description if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're not listening to this on YouTube but on Spotify or something, go to the YouTube link so you can find those links. Or just be part of the community. Because people post and sell promo all the time. And that's not me complaining. That's why the channel's there.
Very true.
Bye.
Alrighty.